Alright guys, I'm Jonathan Martel, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made this Monster Energy commercial from the comfort of my mom's sitting room. So this video was my most requested video. It was requested all of about 4 times on a Facebook group, which is more than enough for me to do it, because it's nice to actually be asked how you did something. Kind of proud of myself. So I'm making this video. So if you are from the Facebook page that I'm going to reshare this in, comment below. I want to connect with you lot. I want to sub back to you. Let's create like a community. It was all shot on a Canon M50 with a 50mm 1.8 lens. It was shot in 1080p, and all of the clips were shot in 50 frames per second, which I then slowed down to 50% in post, just to kind of give it that slow motion effect. Now this would have worked better if your camera shoots 120 frames per second. You can have a bit more leeway, but I don't. You've got to work with what you have. So I shot in 50 frames per second, slowed it down to 50%. Now, my equipment that I used went to the extent of a newer 660 LED light, 3 cushions that I robbed off my mom's dining or sitting room couch, a twisty thing that I used as a lazy Susan that is used for presses to twist like your sauces from the back of the press to the front, and a tripod. That was the extent of my equipment to make, and a dining room table. Yeah, and my imagination. That is my equipment that I used. So shot 1 of this was the establishing shot. Now what I wanted to do here was to just give the viewer an insight onto what, like, you really want to catch their attention. So what I did to catch their attention was the bang, the kind of like boosh, like whoa Jesus, what the f happened there? Do you know, just get them into it. So what I did was, on the table there was little lines, and I used the lines as like a marking point for where my focus was. So I set manual focus, had the line. Luckily with a can, it rolled straight back and rolled straight forward. I rolled the can back, then I rolled it forward until it got near the line. I grabbed the can, banged it down on the table. Just repeated the shot over and over again. Like, it took me maybe like 6, 7, 8 times just to make sure the focus was tack sharp perfect. Rolled it back, rolled it in, grabbed the can, bang on the table. Kept checking the shots after every go. Once I got one that was smack bang in focus, I got the shot. So shot number 2 was the twisting shot. So this is where I used the twisty yoke as my lazy Susan. Basically, I set the can right smack bang down in the center of the lazy Susan, we're going to call it, and I just twisted it. Manual focus, twisted the can. Now what I wanted to get from this shot was a second introduction to the can. So the first shot was an introduction, just like you're writing an essay. You introduce your product, you introduce your essay. So I just introduced the product, which was just Monster, and then the second shot was a bit more background information on the product. So in relation to the Monster, the background information would have been the flavouring of it. So it's a ginger brew. So I twisted in the ginger brew. So now I've introduced my product, I've given more background information. The viewer has a good idea of what I'm actually trying to sell. My third shot then, now I would like to have shown you the workings, but I deleted the timeline. Because I didn't know that this video was going to be requested, and I only did it for the crack. But I was going to redo this whole video, but I'm going to do a better video in the future of a full behind the scenes, everything of like doing a product commercial, better than this video, hopefully. Anyway, back to the video. So the third shot was the light flare. Now what I did here was put the can down on the table, locked off the manual focus. I grabbed my light, went from the left side of the light to the right side of the light, revealing the whole can. So now I've covered Monster Energy, background information on the Monster Energy, i.e. the flavouring, and now the whole product. So the whole product has now been introduced to the viewer. Now all of these shots, what I did do to give it the panning out effect was I had the can, I zoomed in 110% and then keyframed that at the start of the shot and then put it back out to 100%. So it kind of gave that little like kind of zooming out effect. With 1080p, I wouldn't go any more than maybe 115% because it's just the quality isn't that good. So just go as far as 110, pan out. And between each clip, I kind of did kind of like cross dissolves, but I didn't use a cross dissolve. I did a kind of like a full opacity to 0 opacity and then 0 opacity to full opacity in the next clip really quick, so you can really dial in how fast it closes and opens. So shot 4 then was the pouring one, the one we all love, the pouring shot. Basically what I did in this one, between the 3rd clip and the 4th clip, I didn't take a video of me opening the can, so what I did was I put in a sound effect of the can being opened. And what this does is it gives the viewer, when it was dark, the idea that the can is now opened. It doesn't just go from a closed can to an open can out of nowhere. You have kind of broken it up. Now I would have liked to got a shot of me like popping it open, but I didn't get one. Learning for the future. So what I did was put in a sound effect. The can is empty. Anyway, so what I did was I put in this sound effect, and just to give the viewer the idea that the can had now been opened, and I just did a pouring shot. What I did was manual focus, locked off on the glass, poured the can in. See, my hand would have been moving, so it would have been harder to kind of manual focus my hand, so I just locked off focus on the glass. That's where the viewer is going to be watching. The can can be a slight bit out of focus, it can be in a little bit of bokeh. All they're viewing is the glass, and again, just a panning out effect. 110% at the start, 100% at the end, panned out. Final shot then was the hero shot. It was the product, it was the glass, it was done up. I had the lime, the mint, I had the can on the left. Full product, we'd introduced it throughout. Now we have the conclusion, we have the end product. Boom. Shot is over. Ad done. Commercial finished. Monster. Bing bing, ring me up, my guy. So that was it. Made it in my house last minute, no pre-planning. Used what I had around the house. Used cushions as negative fill. Just get creative with it. So just a couple of things I wanted to talk on, just for what I do in the future. So my conclusion recommendations basically would have been things I would have done differently. What I would have preferred to have would have been a top-down light, just to cover the can a little bit more. All I had was the small little newer LED light. So if I could get like a top light, a bigger one covers more area, that would have been ideal. Another thing that I made a mistake on was the can was actually kind of damaged. This obviously wasn't a proper product video, but in future I would make sure that the can was absolutely perfect. At the very top in my rotating shot, you can see kind of scratches away from the can. I would have had to make sure that that can was absolutely spick and span perfect. What I also would have got was this spray that you can buy. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, but it's just like spray you can buy that you spray on the can and it stays there like mist. As I was using just like water, and the water wasn't sticking to the mule can, so let's get the spray the next time, Dan. Yeah, let's go, my guy. And then I would have, my final thing that I would have changed would have been I would have got a backlight for the can. Basically, a light around, like a little LED light about that high. I didn't have one at the time. I was going to use my iPhone underneath the glass, just to shine, to brighten up the drink. But in the hero shot, you would have seen the iPhone, so I couldn't use it. But I would have preferred to have maybe got a little light like that high, just so I can put it right behind the glass, like that, and it glows the drink. So there are kind of like 4 quick little tips that if you do have them, that you can make if you do attempt to make a commercial video, and that I will be doing in the future. That's everything, short and sweet, baby. That's it. If you did enjoy this video, please do like, comment, subscribe. If you came from the Facebook group, comment below, because I want to connect with all you guys and we can like support each other's work, check out your work, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, I want to thank today's sponsor for the video. Another Irish photographer. He sponsored me his camera to kind of like shoot it behind the scenes of the video. So a big shout out to another Irish photographer. He lives like 4 minutes down the road from me. This is his camera. What a break it.